We begin in Alberta tonight. The province has now declared a public health emergency due to COVID-19. Premier Jason Kenney announced a set of new restrictions that will last at least 3 weeks, including a ban on all indoor social gatherings and mandatory mask requirements. Alberta has been battling record-setting coronavirus case counts. There are about 13,000 active cases in the province, more than any other jurisdiction in the country. We're joined by the CBC's Aaron Collins from Calgary. Good evening, Aaron.
Good evening, Carol. Thanks very much. And, Albertans got finally, after waiting for what seems like days and days, they finally got a sense of what the next weeks are going to look like for them. And it's going to be different than it is for much of the country. So I'm going to run you through some of the many protocols that we're going to see brought into effect over the next coming days. The big things we're hearing about, of course, are we're going to see junior highs and high schools close in Alberta starting on Friday. So that's something that we haven't seen in a lot of different jurisdictions, and we're going to be seeing that all across the province beginning on Friday. As for those elementary schools, they're not going to be closing until the 18th of December, but they will be staying closed a little bit longer as we move through the holiday season. So that's one of the big things we're hearing. And as you mentioned in your introduction there, we're also having zero tolerance, absolutely no social gatherings in people's homes. So that's a big change for people here in Alberta as well. And the Premier says that's going to be something that's going to be enforced. There'll be $1,000 fines that will be handed out for people who break that restriction. Seeing some restrictions on shops as well. They're going to be open, but they're not going to be at full capacity. Same with restaurants. So we're going to be seeing some changes to the way people can go out and dine and to the way they can go out and shop. But the big things are they're not allowed to have folks into their home, and they're not going to be allowed to have anybody, they're not going to have the kids in school, at least their junior high and high school kids, beginning this Friday.
Some may be surprised, Aaron, by the decision to leave bars, restaurants and stores open. Why has the provincial government chosen not to shut those down?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's a different strategy than we're seeing in a lot of other parts of the country. And we heard the Premier address that directly. Basically, there are restrictions on who you can sit with while you're in a restaurant. So you have to be sitting with the people you live with. So the Premier basically said that's akin to sitting around the family dining room. So that was his justification for that. As far as allowing people to go into shops, he said that he wanted to avoid the mistakes made during the initial shutdown in this province, where all the business then flocked to big box stores and Walmart and these kinds of places. And he wanted to keep those small retailers open. Obviously, that's something we've heard a lot about in Ontario and other parts of the country as they move towards shutting stores down. So the idea was limit capacity in those stores to 25%, but allow them to keep operating. And that was the decision that the Premier decided to make. So those are the reasons he gave for allowing shops and restaurants and bars to stay open.
Aaron Collins joining us from Calgary. Aaron, thank you.